O-Level Biology 5090, Chapter 14, Part 3, Homeostasis, Temperature Control, Blood Glucose Control. First of all, homeostasis is the ability of the body to maintain a constant internal environment of the body. So, because it is very necessary for our proper functioning of life. The need for homeostasis, uh, as you know, the different metabolic reactions takes place inside the body of the living organisms. So the living organisms need to maintain the homeostasis constantly in order to properly grow, work, and survive. So homeostasis is very much compulsory for our body. In general, homeostasis is essential for normal cell function and overall balance. Balance of the salts and water. You can say for this process to function properly, homeostasis helps our body to both water and salt balance level and other metabolic reactions which are taking place constantly inside the body. So our body needs a constant internal environment. The process by which the constant internal environment or the is maintained, that process is called as negative feedback. So the negative feedback is, you can say, meant to control the internal environment. Uh, Negative feedback prevents a physiological variable or a body function from going beyond the normal range. If the any body function is exceeding from a normal range, means a set point. A set point. Set point means, as for example, you know, our body normal body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade, so it is the set point. So if our body temperature is exceeding from this temperature, then the negative feedback will take place to bring back the temperature, or by reversing the temperature to the set point, that is 37 degrees centigrade. So in this way, our body performs the process of negative feedback, in which it does this by reversing a physiological variable change stimulus once the normal range is exceeded. If there is exceed in the normal range, or the, you can say, the variable is changed or exceeds from the normal range, then this process occurs. And now here in this slide, I would like to tell you how this process of negative feedback will occur. First of all, stimulus. Stimulus is any change, and the any change in the internal environment will initiate an event or the process, and then variable can be at temperature or osmotic pressure. So any variable can be here. Then receptor cells or the sex cells are different sense cells are present in our body, and these receptors or sense organs, they will detect the change in the internal environment, or they will detect the stimulus, and then control center will compare input to reference value set point, that is how much of the value of the variable is exceeding from the set point. Then the message will be sent towards the effectors, which will make some adjustment to bring back or to reverse the value of the variable to the set point by the process of negative feedback. So in this way, the negative feedback play a vital role in the maintenance of internal environment, or the maintenance of the homeostasis of the body, to maintain the homeostasis or to keep the internal environment constant. Our skin also play a major role, and here we can see the different parts of the skin and the structure of the skin. You can say the uppermost layer is called as epidermis, which further divided into cornified layer, granular layers, and malpighian layers. The lower layer is dermis. Dermis has many you can say sweat glands are there in the dermis, which produce the sweat, and sweat through sweat duct. This sweat goes out of the skin by sweat pore, and then touch receptors are also present, and the touch receptors are there, and then erector muscles are there to erect the hair, and hair are present in the hair follicles, and the hair can be seen outside the epidermis, and there are sebaceous glands which produce the sebum, which gives the oily skin, and then temperature receptors are also present, and then nerve fibers are there, which can take the messages towards the central nervous system, and adipose tissues which play a role of insulation in the body. So in the next slide, we will discuss the functions of these different parts which we have discussed in this slide. Now, the functions of the different parts of the skin are: number one, the cornified layer. Cornified layer is actually the epidermal layer. Cornified layer, granular layer, and Malpighian layer, these three layers make up one epidermis or epidermal layer. So first of all, the cornified layer contains keratin. Keratin, an effective waterproof layer, is there, and cornified layer protects body from microbial infections, mechanical and thermal damage. It means cornified layer is first of all the waterproof layer, and also it protects the body from many microbial infections or attacks, or in this way the other granular layer replaces dead cells from the cornified layers. Cornified layers consist of dead cells. So when the cornified layers is peeled off, the granular layer will take the place of cornified layer. So and then the lowermost layer of the epidermis is the Malpighian layer, which contains blood capillaries. So cell undergoes cell division. It means it consists of living cells, contains melanin to protect genetic material from ultraviolet radiations. Melanin is, you can say, pigment which give color to the skin. And then the other layer is dermis. Blood vessels are there to regulate the temperature of the body. Sebaceous glands to produce sebum, which act as a lubricant. It gives the oily skin. Uh, Sweat glands produces sweat, which is an excretory product as well as cooling agent. When we sweat, it will help to cool down our body in the high temperature. Hair involves in heat control. Erector muscles, which helps to erect the hair. Contract and relaxes to control position of hair. Receptors, which detect the changes in the environment as heat, temperature, and pressure. Elastic fibers has collagen, which affects elasticity of the skin. So the collagen fibers or the elastic fibers helps in the elasticity of the skin. So these are the functions of different parts of the skin. Next, what is the role of insulation in our body? So all of us know that heat loss, as you know, heat loss is reduced by the body's insulation mechanism. So insulation mechanism is very important for our body. And what happens during this, including reduction of blood flow to the skin and fat beneath the skin, and by use of clothing, shelter, and external heat sources. So all these different processes helps to maintain the uh, environmental conditions constant. In addition, the body can generate heat through shivering. When we shiver, our heat is generated, our response regulated by hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is the part of the forebrain which helps in maintaining the homeostasis of the body, or to maintain the constant environment. So here in this slide, we will discuss the maintenance of internal temperature. So when there is an increase, different parts play a role in the maintenance of internal temperature. So when there is an increase in body temperature, that is, it is increased from a normal set temperature. So at that time, what can happen? Temperature sensitive receptors in skin and hypothalamus, they are activated. All they are activated. When they are activated, then first of all, there will be some voluntary responses. Voluntary responses will be, we will reduce our activity. We will sit uh, at a place, we will not move to reduce our activity. In this way, we will be able to produce less heat. Exposing body to cold environment, we will make use of or we will place sit as a place where the environmental temperature is less than other places, as we can sit in the AC or under the fan. Loose clothing, we will make use of our clothes. And cooling drink, we will make use of cold drinks or cold water, juices or other things as well. So another change will take place. Hypothalamus will be activated. I already know which is part of the brain. So hypothalamus, thermostat in the hypothalamus activates cooling mechanism. So the cooling mechanism of the body will be activated by the parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system will be activated. So parasympathetic nervous system will increase heat loss by sweating, whereas the sympathetic nervous system will increase heat loss by vasodilation. Vasodilation is actually the dilation of the blood vessels of the skin, which will flow very close to the skin, and in this way there will be the heat loss. And then uh, the sympathetic nervous system also reduces heat gain by decreased metabolic rate, means the metabolic reactions which are taking place in the body will be slowed down. So in this way, the body temperature will be according to the set point. It will go back to the set point if there is an increase. But on the other hand, if there is a decrease in the body temperature, so what will happen? First of all, the voluntary responses will be, we will eat more to get heat, and we will heat source. We will seek heat source. That it means we can make use of heater or any other warm room or warm clothing. We will wear warm clothes, and we will increase muscle activity, and we will start movement. And hypothalamus will also detect the changes in the temperature. So the temperature sensitive receptors in skin, they will be activated. And when they will be activated, the warming mechanism, so the shivering of the body will start, which will generate heat. So uh, parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system will also be activated, and sympathetic nervous system will be activated by traps air layers for insulation. So erector muscles will erect the hair, and in this way there will be the trap in the layer, insulation layer, and then vasodilation occurs, and which will reduce heat loss. Vaso constriction means the blood vessels will constrict, whereas in when the body temperature is high, the vasodilation occur. But when there is decrease in the body temperature, at that time the vasoconstriction occur, due to which the blood vessels will constrict, and due to which the blood flow to the skin will be reduced, and due to which the heat loss will be prevented. Then increased thyroid hormones, due to which increased basal metabolic rates or the metabolic rates which are taking place inside the body, they will be fast. Due to fast, there will be more heat generate in the body, which will help to maintain the body temperature to a set point. So in this way, the maintenance of the internal environment takes place in the body. Next, need to control blood glucose concentration. Blood glucose, sometimes the blood glucose concentration is increased and sometimes it is decreased. Most of the time, if the person having a problem, they have a disease which is called as diabetes mellitus. So the glucose concentration is increased. So there is a need to control blood glucose concentration because it is important that the concentration of glucose in the blood is maintained at the constant level and controlled carefully because it can cause a disease. Over time, high blood sugar levels damage our blood vessels. So high sugar level will damage our blood vessels. This can cause other problems. Due to the damage of the blood vessels, there are some other problems such as coronary heart disease, in which the heart capillaries or the coronary heart capillaries, they are blocked. Kidney disease and diabetic eye disease, all these are the different types of diseases which are caused by the uh, increase in the glucose concentration in the blood. It's important to know whether you have high blood sugar so that this can be controlled. The people who are at the risk, so they should have to control the concentration of the glucose, because in this way they can reduce the risk of damage or the risk which they are facing to their body, it can be reduced. So the process of regulation of blood glucose concentration. So when we eat too much sugar or the sweets, then our body high blood sugar, our body will have high blood sugar or the sugar level of the blood will be increased. So our pancreas will be activated. So it will start secreting the hormone which is called as insulin. So insulin will stimulate the glucose uptake from the blood. So the extra glucose will be uptaken from the cells, from the tissues, and then this insulin is sent towards the liver, and in the liver, the extra glucose is changed into the glycogen. So in the form of glycogen, the glucose is stored in the body. And in this way, the extra glucose is controlled, or in this way, the blood sugar level is reduced to the set point. So it is reduced to the set point. And on the other hand, if our body sugar is less than the set point, so what will happen? Again, the pancreas will be activated and start secreting the glucagon. Glucagon is another hormone which is also secreted by the pancreas. So the glucagon will stimulate the glycogen breakdown. So the glucagon will helps in the liver to break down the glycogen which is in the stored form. So the glycogen will break down into the glucose, and in this way the deficiency of the glucose concentration will be maintained to a set point, that is, it will be according to the set point of our body. So in this way, the regulation of the blood glucose concentration takes place in the body. Now, we were talking about the glucose concentration, if it is in high concentration, or if it is in high, then or if it is exceeding, then the set point. So at that condition, diabetes mellitus is a disease which is you can say the people having in their lives, commonly known as diabetes, is a group of metabolic disorders characterized by high blood sugar level over a prolonged period of time. The people are suffering from these diseases. Symptoms often include frequent urination, increased thirst, and increased appetite. So these are the symptoms with the help of which we can detect that the person is suffering with diabetes mellitus. The diabetes mellitus is of two main types of diabetes, type 1 is and type 2. So type 1 is diabetes occurs because the insulin producing cells of the pancreas are damaged. And in the previous slide, we had discussed that at the time when sugar concentration is increased in the blood to a set point, at that time the pancreas creates the insulin. Insulin will change the glucose into glycogen. So extra glucose is changed into glycogen. In this way, the extra glucose is stored in the liver. So in this type 1, what happens that insulin is not produced by the pancreas, or it is, if it is secreted by the pancreas, but its concentration is very low, due to which the body suffer with a increase in the concentration of sugar in the blood. In the type 2 diabetes, adult onset diabetes, the pancreas makes insulin, but it is either does not produce enough or the insulin does not work properly. So in both these cases, when diabetes is not, when insulin is not producing in the body because of the damaging of the pancreatic cells, or the type 2 diabetes, when the pancreas making insulin, but its percentage is very low. So in both cases, the persons are suffering with the disease diabetes mellitus. And it's, you can say, there is no proper treatment available for the diabetes, but it can be effectively managed when caught early. The people came to know that they are suffering with diabetes, so they can manage it. However, when left untreated, if you have diabetes and you are not treating it, it can lead to potential complications that include heart, heart disease, stroke, kidney damage, and nerve damage. So in this way, this one disease can lead to many other diseases if it is not treated by the body, or it becomes complicated. Normally, after you eat or drink, your body will break down sugars from your food and use them for energy in your cell. So when there is, it takes place when the body is doing its work normally. But when the people are suffering with the diabetes mellitus, so this extra sugar will not be stored, so it will be in the blood, which can cause severe problems to the body. So in this way, we have completed the chapter 14 in 3 videos. Uh, Please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching my video. Thank you very much.